How's it going, everybody? My name is John, and we're here today to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly from Trump's nominations for his new 2024 presidential administration. I'm sure you guys have a lot of opinions about Trump's picks, as do I, so let's get right into it, talking about the biggest headline coming out of his nominations, which is Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy to run a new government agency called DOGE, otherwise known as the Department of Government Efficiency. I think Elon and Vivek are fantastic and possibly the best picks that he could have put for this role. When Elon Musk purchased Twitter, which he had to buy at a much higher rate than it was actually worth, so this criticism that it's lost value since Elon's purchased it is nonsense. But when he did that, he cut 80% of the staff, which no doubt saved on cost across the board. Meanwhile, the platform runs just as normal and has new record amounts of usership. Then you have Vivek, who's an absolute model of what future conservatism and the Republican Party will look like in the future. Vivek and Elon are open to discourse, as you have Vivek, who's recently done interviews with left-leaning people such as Mark Cuban and middle-of-the-road people such as Lex Friedman. Then you have Elon Musk reaching out to people on the left such as Cenk Uygur, who are just posting on X, actually talking and doing discourse over ideas. Cenk Uygur puts it best himself. You would never see this from the establishment left. They are so closed-minded and absolutely obedient to their donors that you have absolutely no freedom to do any new policy. The other pick that's been stirring up a lot of controversy is RFK Jr. to head the Department of Health and Human Services, otherwise known as the HHS. Upon Trump's nomination of RFK Jr., you start hearing all these stories about FDA people threatening to quit if RFK Jr. is appointed. My response is who cares if people from the FDA quit? The FDA has done a horrible job. The US has some of the worst chronic disease rates in the entire world, and they're also the company that has approved Red 40 and many other harmful dyes to be in basic everyday foods that mostly children eat. Have you guys ever seen that notorious viral video of the guy showing the Canadian Fruit Loops versus the United States Fruit Loops?
Brightness of the Canadian version, just for visibility. And this is the brightness of artificial food dyes.
The only argument I've ever heard for these food dyes is that kids are more likely to buy it if it has these bright and vivid colors. Well, kids will also sit in their room and eat candy all day and never go to school if you let them. You don't have to let kids get everything they want. Then there's the claims that RFK Jr. is this anti-vax loon. Take a listen to this clip on Bill Maher and tell me if he sounds unreasonable.
I believe if people want a vaccine, that they should be able to get it. I'm not anti-vaccine. What I say is that...
Well, people think you are.
Well, I know, but that's because I'm called that because it's a way of silencing me. But I have said for 17 years, I'm not anti-vaccine. I just want good science. I want people should be able to make informed choices. I am against vaccine mandates.
Why can't... I am too.
Bill Maher agrees with RFK Jr.'s position, which makes sense because the traditional liberal mindset is to live and let live. Is it really out of the realm of possibility that kids don't need these hepatitis B vaccines as a mandate amongst 18 other ones to attend public school? The next pick I want to talk about is one of my personal favorite picks that Trump has made, which is Tulsi Gabbard as the National Intelligence Director. Tulsi Gabbard has a near perfect resume, and you think that the left would love her because she is a woman, she's a minority, she's well-spoken, she served in the military, she was an active congresswoman. Then you have people on the left grasping at straws, claiming that Tulsi Gabbard is some sort of Russian agent, which is a false claim made up by Hillary Clinton of all people. Why people trust Hillary Clinton? I'm not so sure. She was wrong about the Trump Russiagate BS, and she's wrong about this one too, as there is no substantial proof to prove Tulsi in connection to Russia or Putin at all. She doesn't fully agree with NATO's constant pushing and aggravating of the conflicts there. The last pick in my good category, and take in mind that I'm not addressing every single cabinet pick that Trump has made, but this one is Tom Homan as the new border czar, replacing Kamala Harris. I believe that Tom Homan has a lot of good experience that will help him be very successful in this field. And there's all these false claims going around that he's going to deport legal citizens. I'll let Tom Homan, in his own words, explain why those claims are not true in an interview that he did on Fox News.
We'll prioritize public safety threats and national security threats because they pose the biggest danger to the United States. He's got 3 rails. So we'll do the deportation operation with the priorities I just talked to you out of the gate. That'd be the priorities. Second thing is secure that border. Lock that border down and catch and release and secure the border. The third rail is we got over 300,000 missing children. Over 500,000 children have been trafficked into the United States. This administration released them to unvetted sponsors, and they can't find 300,000.
Not only does Homan shoot down the claims that he's going to deport legal citizens, but he's also the first person I've heard bring up the 300,000 missing children on national TV. I have never heard previous border czar Kamala Harris talk about this, or anyone on the left for that matter. It's crazy to me the level of delusion on the left. Has anybody ever thought that maybe there's a reason that this is the Republicans' most winning and successful issue? I don't need to go over the list of victims, but you can Google the women that have been brutally murdered by illegal immigrants who have crossed over the border during the Biden administration. Most recently, you had Laken Riley's killer being sentenced to life in prison. Are there families that are undocumented, that are in this country, that are genuinely trying to make a better life for themselves with the goodest intentions? Yes, I believe that is 100% true and undeniable. But it's also true that they have let in thousands of convicted rapists, murderers, amongst many other criminals into the country with them. And I'll tell you right now, if your mindset is, oh, we can let in all these people because only a minority of them are convicted, you are messed up in the head and you are why the election went to Trump. Moving on to the picks that I'm not so sure about or that I would consider to be in the bad category, let's start off with Fox News host Pete Hegseth. He's been pegged for defense secretary, and the reasons I've been seeing people give for why he's qualified are quite rudimentary, that he has experience in the military, so he'll be automatically great in the role of defense secretary. At the end of the day, he is a TV news host. But these claims that Pete Hegseth is some sort of white supremacist, which I heard Maya Wiley say on MSNBC.
Because let's remember, like when we're talking about the secretary here and Hegseth and his white supremacist and extremist tattoos on his body.
These claims are absolutely ridiculous. I've had to unfortunately look at a picture of Pete Hegseth shirtless to prove this, but the tattoo that he has is the same symbol that you will see on the end and on the covers of Bibles. MSNBC wonders why they're losing viewership constantly and they're on the verge of being sold by their parent company. Meanwhile, they continue to alienate a big chunk of the population. But once again, I don't believe that Pete is exactly the best pick for this role, as I don't think his experience exactly lines up to the task. That's my criticism of Trump's next cabinet pick, which hit a little bit close to home for me because I'm a wrestling fan, of Linda McMahon for the Secretary of Education. While I do understand why Trump has made this appointment, the fact that she has absolutely no education experience is something that you have to note. I am willing to see what she does in the role. She's been loyal to Trump in the past. I do believe that she is an intelligent, strong woman, a businesswoman. So let's see what she can do in the role. Moving on to the picks that I consider to be in the ugly, we have Marco Rubio, who has been pegged for Secretary of State, and that one's basically confirmed. Why don't I like Marco Rubio? Well, you shouldn't like Marco Rubio either, because he's a neocon, brilliantly described by Rand Paul on CNN.
Neoconservative. I see her and I see her and Rubio as being the same person. They both want a no-fly zone. They both have supported activity in Libya, the war in Libya that toppled Gaddafi, an intervention that made us less safe. They both have supported pouring arms into the Syrian civil war, a mistake that I think allowed ISIS to grow stronger. And they both have supported the Iraq war. So, I mean, what's the difference?
Marco Rubio has always supported foreign wars and conflicts, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's the reason we get pushed into war with Iran, being in Trump's ear. This is my biggest fear of the Trump administration, is that he has been infiltrated by neocon loyalists such as Marco Rubio and some of his other picks. But in comparison to the left, which Biden just approved long-range missiles to be able to be used deep into Russian territory, I think that Trump's administration is still more pro-peace. Then we have Matt Gaetz, who is pegged to be the Attorney General, and the key word there is he withdrew his nomination today. I was going to come on here and say that the allegations against Gaetz are completely unsubstantial and play this brilliant clip of Sunny Hostin on The View retracting her statement 3 minutes after she made it. But with Matt Gaetz withdrawing, it does make it look bad. I'm not going to say that the guy's innocent, because if he was innocent, why would he feel the need to withdraw? That pick might have been a massive oversight by the Trump administration. Maybe they didn't know. Maybe the claims are really unsubstantial. But with him withdrawing instead of defending his position, you would think if he was innocent, he would defend this amazing opportunity to be part of a presidential administration. Just to 100% clarify, I'm not saying that Matt Gaetz is guilty or that these allegations are substantial. I don't know one way or the other. I haven't done deep research into his case. But you can't deny that him withdrawing willingly instead of fighting for this amazing position is at the very least suspicious. Overall, I do believe that Trump has made some great picks for his cabinet, like Tulsi Gabbard, Elon Musk, Vivek, RFK Jr., but the cabinet is hampered with a few neocons and people that I feel are lacking experience, but at the end of the day, we need to see what they can do. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think of Trump's administration picks in the comments below, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out.